Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Rebecca here. How are you? And you're watching me, myself, and Asperger's. This episode, I am going to be talking about being labelled. I personally do think this has something to do with autism, as we do misunderstand people and the world around us. Ever since I was little, I have always had a thing about being labelled. When I was little, I was very quiet and well behaved because I did not realize that being quiet just means you are not making much or at all sound, but it also means you are such a good person, you are kind, you are nice, you are thoughtful, you are generous, you name it. Until I would get somebody saying to me, Rebecca, 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 are you ignoring me? I would not reply back to that, as I would not know what to say. But they replied back, I just find that really rude. I would not reply back to that either, as I would not know what to say, but I did get upset with that. I just did not mean to come across as rude. I honestly thought that I was being such a good girl just because I was being quiet. The fact I was so quiet was actually a cause for concern. I just did not realise that it was causing a problem. People would complain about me being quiet. I remember in year 7 back in high school, people would ask me during lesson time, why don't you speak? I was sat next to one of them, but I was ignoring them. But they kept going on and on about it, that eventually I did say something to them. They said to the person sat to their left, as I was sat to their right, hey, she just said something then. And then I replied back, well, of course I speak. I also got bullied at school for it, that I thought that I had to change that about myself. So I ended up changing from this shy, well-behaved, quiet girl into this loud, bad girl. Because I thought that me being loud and bad means that I am confident and daring, but people knew how to get round me and nobody was scared of me. I would shout for the sake of being labelled as loud, and I would swear for the sake of being labelled as bad and daring. And I would also do things for the sake of being labelled as bad and daring. when really I was just drawing attention to myself for the wrong reasons. At the time, I did not see that. I know, doing things for the sake of being labelled as loud and bad and daring, I know. It is just ridiculous. And no, I am not proud of it. Around that time, I also used to do and say things for the sake of being labelled as funny. But a lot of the time, I would not realise that people were just laughing at me. When I was in my late teens, I felt that I had to change who I was, as in how I acted to things, reacted to things, what I would say, what I would do. So I would try to be just like someone else who I used to know in real life. I only did that because I thought that how they acted and reacted to things, what they would say, what they would do, was more understandable and more cooler than how I would personally do those things. Half the time I would assume it, as I did not know them very well. I do not believe you should try to be like someone else, as it does not make your life any happier. Also, you do end up confusing people who know you well. I think that I was just trying to cover up my Asperger's, but I failed miserably as things would come out without me realising. I did that because I was deeply embarrassed and ashamed of it, and I used to try and put it behind me. Also, around that time, I used to talk for the sake of being labelled as chatty, fun-loving, and happy. I would look for things around me to talk about. I would mention something going on around the time, or I would mention something relevant to the situation. I honestly thought that being quiet means you are boring and miserable. And also, I did that to make up for that quiet girl I used to be. When we are nice, we are too nice. When we are horrible, we're so horrible. When we are quiet, we are too quiet. When we are loud, we are so loud. When we are good, we are so good. When we are bad, we are so bad. I know, there is no middle ground. I know, it beggars belief. Even today, I have a thing about being labelled as a good and humble person because I want to be remembered as that. But I do hate obsessing about it. Even if we do obsess about it, we do end up doing and saying things that are not right. I also have an obsession with problem solving. As in, the messages it gives me is everybody wants all of the problems in the world solved just like that, abracadabra. I do hate having an obsession with that as well, as in I end up analysing all of the problems from my present and my past life. Also, I do end up doing and saying things that are not right. Yes, so that's pretty much it for this video. If you enjoyed, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to hear any more autism/Asperger's related content from me. And as always, look after yourselves. Take care. Bye bye.